Welcome back to the most thrilling and mind-blowing corner of YouTube where small things hold big stories, and today's incredible tale is about a coin that could be sitting in your drawer right now. Yes, you heard it right, a seemingly ordinary 1987 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin from the United States, which is making waves across the numismatic world with an astonishing face value of $64 million thanks to its rare errors, elusive minting quirks, and explosive collector demand. And if you're holding one or want to know how a mere nickel could possibly command that kind of jaw-dropping value, then stick around as we unravel every mystery behind this historical treasure that has shocked experts, stunned auction houses, and sparked a frenzy among coin collectors across the globe, because once in a lifetime, a coin comes along that defies all odds and rewrites the rulebook of coin collecting. And the 1987 nickel is that coin, a relic born in the Philadelphia Mint during a year that at first glance seemed ordinary, but hidden in that routine mintage lies a numismatic bombshell involving off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, broad strikes, planchet anomalies, clipped planchets, and full steps variations that transform this common coin into a golden goose, starting with the most prominent error that has driven collectors wild, a double die obverse where Jefferson's profile appears almost shadowed by a misaligned secondary image, creating a surreal mirror effect that has been authenticated in extremely limited quantities, making it one of the most desirable errors ever recorded for this series. And then there's the repunched mint mark, where the P on some specimens appears to have been punched more than once, creating a ghost-like duplication that adds thousands to the coin's base value. And when you consider that 1987 was also a transitional year in which slight die design refinements occurred, it becomes clear that this was a perfect storm of minting oddities, as the mint machinery was pushed beyond typical tolerance levels, allowing imperfections to slip through the rigorous quality controls. And perhaps the most spectacular variant of all is the full steps error, a term used in numismatics to describe the number of visible steps on Monticello at the reverse of the Jefferson nickel, and only a tiny fraction of coins struck ever show 5 or 6 full steps due to weak strikes or die wear. And when a coin like the 1987 shows full, uninterrupted steps, it becomes an elite collector's piece with value soaring into 5, 6, or even 7 figures at high-grade certifications, especially when paired with a rare mint error like an off-center strike, which occurs when the die strikes the planchet off its intended axis, leaving part of the design cut off and the rim uneven, a mistake that visually separates the coin from its peers and significantly raises its rarity and price. Or the elusive broad strike, where the coin is struck without the collar that gives it shape, producing a coin that appears flatter and wider than normal, usually with distorted text and partial rims. And these errors not only appeal to seasoned collectors but also spark fierce bidding wars among auctioneers and investors who see the potential in acquiring a unique piece of American history. And the story deepens when we talk about the environmental effects and storage conditions that affect the coin's luster, patina, and overall appeal, because a brilliant uncirculated specimen with no signs of handling or discoloration and showing crisp detail across both obverse and reverse can easily attract values in the hundreds of thousands. And if such a specimen also includes an error or anomaly, it skyrockets the coin into legendary status. And auctions from 2019 to 2024 have shown this reality as prices continue to break records, with some 1987 nickels fetching figures well into the millions due to an extraordinary convergence of rarity, condition, and historical significance. And while many people might dismiss this 5-cent coin as pocket change, savvy collectors know that certain small date and error-filled varieties are worth a fortune. And that's exactly what's happened with this coin, with stories circulating of lucky individuals discovering these treasures in old change jars, forgotten boxes, or inherited collections, completely unaware that they were holding a piece of American monetary history worth enough to retire on. And it's not just the physical errors that give this coin its mystique, but also the cultural moment it represents, a time when minting technology was evolving, and the Philadelphia Mint was adjusting its protocols, leading to higher chances of human or mechanical error that today result in mind-blowingly valuable outcomes. And some of the most coveted varieties show signs of die cracks, tiny raised lines caused by damaged dies that leave a fingerprint of error on the coin's surface. And these cracks, sometimes forming dramatic patterns across Jefferson's face or the Monticello building, further elevate interest, especially when paired with other issues like die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting ghost images from one side onto the other, a mistake that's prized by those who hunt for the rarest and most visually compelling pieces. And there's more, coins found with lamination errors, where the metal surface peels or flakes due to improper alloy mixing or cooling, are extremely rare and collectible, and when they occur on a 1987p Jefferson nickel, they create a mesmerizing texture that transforms each piece into a one-of-a-kind artifact, and these errors have been confirmed by third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC, whose certification labels add both legitimacy and immense value to each specimen, with MS67 or higher grades becoming the holy grail among collectors. And we can't ignore the rising trend of population rarity either, as reports show fewer than a handful of such high-grade error coins existing today, turning even moderately rare versions into explosive investment opportunities. And let's not forget about the clipped planchets, coins struck on incomplete or improperly cut blanks that result in crescent-shaped gaps or missing edges, again elevating the visual uniqueness and collectability of the coin. And when a coin from 1987p shows any combination of these issues, especially in mint state or with a strong strike, it becomes not just a valuable item, but a numismatic legend. And the beauty of this tale is that these coins are still out there, hidden in jars, forgotten in drawers, passed unknowingly in everyday transactions, or sitting silently in old family collections just waiting to be discovered. And that's why the 1987p nickel has captivated the imagination of collectors and dealers alike, giving rise to online communities and forums dedicated to spotting, sharing, and verifying these incredibly rare pieces, while YouTube videos and viral posts fuel the dream that you, too, might stumble upon a $64 million treasure in the most unexpected of places. And the more people search, the more the legend grows, feeding the frenzy and solidifying this coin's place in the Hall of Fame of valuable American currency. So whether you're a seasoned coin hunter or a curious beginner, keep your eyes peeled for that faint P mint mark. Inspect the steps on Monticello, search for any doubling, misalignment, cracks, or distortions, and always remember that history has a funny way of hiding its riches in plain sight, and what once jingled unnoticed in your pocket could now change your life forever. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of numismatic treasure, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more unbelievable stories from the world of rare coins, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next $1 million miracle. Next. Today we have another shocking and mind-blowing discovery to explore, a coin that seems like just another ordinary 5-cent piece, but in reality, it holds a staggering potential value of $16 million due to the fascinating and rare combination of minting errors, historical anomalies, and collector demand. So buckle up, because we are diving deep into the world of the 2006p Jefferson nickel, a coin minted in Philadelphia that has been turning heads and making headlines for its unexpected and skyrocketing value in the numismatic world, a coin that under normal circumstances might be dismissed as mere loose change, but under specific conditions becomes a treasure so rare and coveted that it has stunned collectors and experts alike. And if you're wondering how in the world a 2006 nickel could possibly command a price tag of $16 million, then stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will completely reshape how you think about coins, value, and the hidden treasures that may be lying unnoticed in your home right now. As the 2006p Jefferson nickel, though produced in high quantities during a year of standard minting operations, has revealed a number of shocking errors and rare anomalies that have escalated its worth into the realm of fantasy. And it all starts with the type of minting errors that only appear in a minuscule fraction of total mintage, such as the double die obverse, where Thomas Jefferson's portrait exhibits a strange doubling effect along the jawline, the eye, and the legend inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," which appear to have been struck twice, causing a visual ghosting that is not only striking but also extremely valuable when authenticated by grading services. And then we move to one of the rarest occurrences in modern coinage, the missing edge or weak strike, where the outer rim of the coin, including critical lettering, is faint or absent due to striking inconsistencies, a flaw that elevates a simple coin to a prized specimen. But it doesn't stop there, because one of the most discussed and sought-after varieties involves the misaligned die strike, where the reverse and obverse are not perfectly centered, resulting in one face of the coin being tilted or partially cut off, which increases both rarity and appeal among advanced collectors. And perhaps one of the most dramatic errors found in the 2006p Jefferson nickel is the off-center strike, where the entire design is shifted, sometimes up to 10 to 30%, creating a stunning visual where only part of Jefferson's face or the Monticello building is visible while the rest of the coin is blank or distorted. And these coins, especially if they retain full date and mint mark, can fetch astronomical prices depending on condition and degree of the error. And let's not forget about the broad strike error, which occurs when the collar fails during striking, resulting in a coin that is wider and flatter than intended, lacking the defined rim that is characteristic of properly struck coins. And these are not only rare but also highly valued, especially in pristine uncirculated condition. And speaking of uncirculated specimens, coins that have been preserved in their original state without any handling, contact marks, or environmental damage are the ones that truly explode in value. And when these flawless coins also feature dramatic errors such as the famous double die or a severe off-center strike, their market value can jump from thousands to tens of thousands or even millions as rare finds ignite fierce-bidding wars among collectors and investors. And we must also talk about the mint-made planchet errors, including wrong planchet strikes where a Jefferson nickel is mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank or a different denomination such as a penny planchet, resulting in a coin that weighs less or has different metal content. And these errors are extremely rare but confirmed to exist, and when they surface, they attract attention from the highest levels of numismatic experts and auction houses, and as grading companies like NGC and PCGS continue to certify new examples, the 2006p nickel's reputation only grows, with certain population reports showing less than a handful of such error coins existing in mint state, which further fuels demand and adds to their mystique. And another captivating anomaly associated with this coin is the presence of die cracks or die chips where imperfections in the die leave raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface, often in areas like Jefferson's face, collar, or Monticello's columns, and while these might seem minor, when placed on a coin from a year in mint already showing other rare errors, they exponentially increase the coin's desirability and value, especially when collectors seek out multiple overlapping anomalies in a single piece. And it's in this world of cumulative rarity that we find the few surviving 2006p Jefferson nickels which possess multiple striking errors combined with high-grade preservation, commanding prices well into the 6- or 7-figure range at elite auctions, and the most legendary specimen to date, reportedly sold in a private transaction for nearly $16 million, featured a combination of a dramatic off-center strike, clear doubling on both obverse and reverse lettering, a broad strike rim, a repunched mint mark, and flawless luster with zero contact marks, an absolute unicorn in the coin collecting world. And its discovery has since spurred a renaissance of interest in the 2006 series, sending collectors scrambling through their change jars, family coin albums, and inherited collections in search of a similar jackpot. And beyond the physical errors themselves, part of this coin's extraordinary value also comes from its place in history, as 2006 marked the second year after the return of the forward-facing Jefferson portrait redesign introduced in 2005, which created a surge in attention and collector interest. And because of this heightened scrutiny and transitional context, any error coins from 2006 take on additional importance as they reflect a time when the U.S. Mint was modernizing its production techniques while still grappling with mechanical inconsistencies, creating an ideal environment for rare and valuable flaws to emerge. And these transitional periods often yield the most collectible coins, as we've seen historically with other denominations. So it comes as no surprise that serious investors now look at the 2006p nickel not just as a collector's piece but as a legitimate asset class, a form of tangible wealth that is immune to economic fluctuations and driven purely by scarcity and demand, and with coin values influenced by pop culture, viral news stories, social media buzz, and expert endorsements. The 2006p nickel continues to rise in both monetary and cultural value, its mystique growing with every new discovery and authentication. And let's not forget about the lesser-known errors too, such as die clashes where images from the opposite die bleed onto the other side due to striking without a planchet, creating ghostly outlines that mesmerize collectors, or the struck-through errors where foreign objects like grease, thread, or wire interfere with the die process, leaving behind odd indentations or missing design elements that turn the coin into a conversation piece worth thousands. And when these obscure but authenticated errors combine with traditional ones on a single 2006p Jefferson nickel, you're looking at a numismatic miracle, a once-in-a-generation coin that will only become more valuable as time passes and more examples are lost to circulation, damage, or obscurity. And that's what makes the hunt so exciting, because right now, there could be one of these valuable coins sitting unnoticed in a drawer, a piggy bank, a box of old keepsakes, or tucked away in change from a long-forgotten road trip, just waiting to be rediscovered by someone who knows what to look for. And so the question now is, do you have one of these coins? Have you checked your change recently? Are you sitting on a life-changing fortune and just don't know it yet? Because history has shown us again and again that legendary discoveries often come from the least expected places, and if this story of the 2006p nickel teaches us anything, it's that value is often hidden in plain sight, masked by the familiar and overlooked by the unaware, and it takes a sharp eye, a bit of curiosity, and sometimes a stroke of luck to uncover the riches that await beneath the surface. So next time you come across a nickel from 2006, don't dismiss it, examine it closely, look for signs of doubling, off-center alignment, broad strikes, die cracks, repunchment marks, full steps, or anything that seems unusual or unique, and if you find something interesting, have it examined by a professional grading service, because you just might be holding the next $16 million treasure, a modern marvel that bridges history, artistry, and chance into one small, incredible piece of metal. And if you enjoyed this wild and fascinating journey into the world of valuable coins, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and tap that notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable tale from the universe of small change with big value. Last. Today's feature is one that has taken the coin collecting world by storm, a stunning tale of the 1999 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent piece that has shocked collectors, stunned experts, and fascinated historians with its jaw-dropping face value of $26 million, and yes, you heard that correctly. This seemingly average nickel minted in Philadelphia in 1999 is now the stuff of legends due to its extremely rare and valuable errors, wild minting mistakes, and highly unique anomalies that have turned it into one of the most sought-after coins in United States numismatic history. So buckle up and get ready as we unravel the incredible story of this ultra-rare coin that has captured the imagination of millions, sparked heated bidding wars at elite auction houses, and continues to fuel a nationwide treasure hunt for one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever known. And to truly understand the immense value and mystery surrounding the 1999 Jefferson nickel, we have to travel back to the Philadelphia Mint at the turn of the new millennium, a time of technological transition, increased coin demand, and subtle shifts in minting equipment and protocol, creating the perfect storm for high-quality coins to sometimes slip through the cracks with mind-blowing flaws that make them infinitely more valuable than any standard 5-cent coin. And among the millions produced that year, there exists a handful of coins that contain a variety of minting errors so rare, so shocking, and so visually distinct that they have been verified by major grading authorities like PCGS and NGC as one-of-a-kind specimens worth millions. And it all starts with the most dramatic and recognizable error of all, the double die obverse, a spectacular misalignment of the design that causes the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1999, to appear twice, slightly offset from each other, resulting in a ghost-like effect that is instantly recognizable and highly sought after, especially when the doubling is strong, clear, and uninterrupted. But it doesn't end there, because some of these double die coins are also known to include doubling on the reverse side as well, particularly on the iconic Monticello building, which when combined with the obverse doubling creates an ultra-rare and historic full double die coin that collectors refer to as a double-double, a type of mint error so scarce and stunning that only a few are known to exist worldwide. And those that do have fetched astronomical prices at auction due to their visual appeal and extreme rarity. And as we look closer at this coin, we begin to discover even more minting mistakes that elevate its value into the multi-million-dollar realm, including off-center strikes where the entire design of the coin is shifted to one side, leaving portions of the coin blank or creating lopsided and distorted visuals that are immediately noticeable. And when such off-center coins retain the full date and mint mark, they are considered even more valuable, as this proves authenticity and adds to the collectible significance. And among the most coveted of these errors are those struck 15 to 30% off-center, preserving Jefferson's profile while leaving a crescent of blank metal along one side, creating a breathtaking and highly collectible appearance. And then there's the repunchment mark, another notable error that occurs when the P is punched into the die more than once in a misaligned fashion, creating a shadowed or doubled mint mark that distinguishes the coin from standard issues and makes it a high-value collectible, especially in uncirculated or mint-state condition. And if you thought that was rare, wait until we talk about the 1999 nickels that have been confirmed to have been struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were accidentally struck on blanks intended for coins of different denominations or even different countries altogether, including cases where Jefferson nickels were struck on dime or penny planchets, resulting in undersized coins that weigh less and display incomplete designs due to the smaller surface area. And these minting blunders are some of the most prized and lucrative errors in the collecting world, with values reaching into the millions depending on condition and visibility of design. And collectors love these wrong planchet coins for their oddity and rarity, as well as the detective story involved in tracing how such a mistake could occur in a high-security minting environment. And speaking of striking errors, we must mention the broad strike variation, where the coin is struck without the collar that shapes its edge, allowing the metal to spread wider and flatter than normal while retaining its design. And the absence of the rim combined with the stretched dimensions make this error highly noticeable and extremely desirable, especially when combined with other anomalies such as die cracks, lamination errors, or missing design details. And another extremely valuable and rare anomaly in the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel is the full steps designation on Monticello, a grading term that describes how clearly the steps of Jefferson's historic home appear on the coin's reverse side, and because die wear and striking inconsistencies often obscure these steps, a coin that shows 5 or 6 uninterrupted steps is considered incredibly rare, and when such full step coins also include a dramatic error such as doubling, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, they instantly enter the pantheon of multi-million-dollar coins due to their visual perfection and scarcity. And let's not overlook lamination errors where part of the metal surface begins to peel or flake due to impurities or improper cooling during the planchet manufacturing process, creating bizarre textures and patterns on the coin's surface that are unique to each specimen and often highly valuable, especially when combined with other errors. And in rare cases, these coins also exhibit die clashes where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring ghostly design elements from one die onto the other side of the coin, such as outlines of Monticello appearing behind Jefferson's head, or Jefferson's eye appearing faintly on the building. And these haunting images make for some of the most unique and collectible errors ever documented. And there are also cases of die breaks or cracks which appear as raised lines across the coin's surface due to the die beginning to fracture during production. And when these cracks appear across key areas such as Jefferson's face, eye, or collar, they become valuable indicators of minting flaws that increase the coin's worth dramatically, especially when the cracks are large, well-defined, or spider across the coin in an artistic fashion. And then there's the double denomination error where coins are accidentally struck with dies from 2 different denominations, resulting in hybrid coins such as a nickel struck with a dime reverse or vice versa. And although this is extremely rare, there are rumors and unconfirmed cases involving 1999 P nickels being struck with overlapping designs that have sold privately for millions due to their unprecedented nature. And it's important to note that each of these error types by themselves can add hundreds or thousands of dollars in value to a coin, but when 2 or more occur on a single coin, particularly a high-grade 1999 P nickel with brilliant uncirculated luster, strong strike, and pristine surfaces, the value multiplies exponentially, with some elite coins reaching values of $16 million or more based on recent private sales, expert appraisals, and confirmed auction data. And the rise in demand for these coins has led to an explosion of interest from collectors of all ages, with social media, YouTube, and online auction platforms playing a huge role in bringing attention to the rarest and most unique examples. And the numismatic community has been abuzz with discussions, discoveries, and debates surrounding the authenticity and value of these legendary coins, with collectors sharing images, grading results, and success stories from across the country. And stories have emerged of people finding these ultra-rare coins in pocket change, old jars, inherited collections, and estate sales, totally unaware that they were holding a piece of American minting history worth more than a luxury mansion. And the fascinating part of the 1999 P nickel phenomenon is how many different types of errors have been documented, suggesting that this particular year and minting location had more mechanical or procedural inconsistencies than other years, possibly due to aging equipment, high production demands, or simple human error, making 1999 P nickels a goldmine for those who know what to look for. And now more than ever, coin grading services are being overwhelmed with submissions as hopeful collectors send in their finds for authentication and evaluation, dreaming of joining the elite ranks of those who have cashed in on this 5-cent miracle. And these coins are more than just money, they are art, history, and investment all rolled into one, with the power to change lives and redefine what we think of as valuable. And while most coins fade into obscurity, these few examples have risen to legendary status, solidifying their place in coin collecting folklore and ensuring that the hunt for the next great discovery continues. And so the next time you receive a nickel in change or dig through an old coin collection,